was born to, where we may work the fields. We thank thee for the sunshine and the air that we breathe, O Lord.
You're still watching Ogtv. My name is Hakeem Akitunde, and of course it's a brand new edition of the program Reminiscences. You know that Reminiscences is a program where we showcase somebody that we need to learn from, who has cut a niche for himself or herself in his or her profession or calling. And of course, I'm glad that tonight we have one of the newest members of the septuagenarian club, so to say. He was actually 70 yesterday, Thursday, the 24th of February this year, 2022. And of course, he is our guest today. I'm talking about the most Reverend Dr. Rufus Okikiola Ositelu, who has a PhD in computer science and of course religion. Dr. Ositelu, welcome to the program Reminiscences.
Thank you, sir.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
How do you feel at 70? Let's start on that premise.
I just feel grateful to God, to be candid. Physically, I don't feel any difference, but I feel very grateful to God. God has been so good to me.
Alright, before we continue the interview, let me just tell you some brief things about our guest. His Holiness, the Most Reverend Dr. Rufus Okikiola Ositelu, as I said, has a PhD in religion and PhD in computer science. He is the Aladura Patriarch and Primate of the Church of the Lord worldwide. The Patriarch is more than the head of the church. You get to know this as we continue the interview. He was born on the 24th of February 1952 in Ogiremo here in Ogun State. He was born to the late Prophet General, the Most Reverend Dr. Josiah Ositelu, the first primate and founder of the Church of the Lord worldwide, and late Archbishop Mrs. Susanna Adeomi Ositelu, popularly called Mama Ladura or Mama Kekere. The Most Reverend Ositelu attended Christ Church School, Anglican, Ogere in 1958. After the successful completion of the primary school Living Certificate course in 1964, he attended the Institute of Professional Studies at Ganga, Ibadan in 1965, and also he was at the Prospect High School, Abanla, Ibadan, where he successfully completed the West African School Certificate WASC examination. After working with the Nigerian Bottling Company Limited, now PLC, from 1971 to 1974, he left Nigeria for Germany to study in Europe and the United States of America. He commenced his professional studies, data processing, in Control Data Institute, Frankfurt am Main in 1974. Of course, from 1983 through 1986, he further went on a combined master and doctorate program in computer science at the Department of Engineering of the Western Kennedy University. Of course, in 1991, he undertook the Pastoral Studies course with the University of Hagen in Germany. In 1993, he pioneered the first branch of the Church of the Lord worldwide in Germany and was ordained the Reverend same year. He saw to it that the Church of the Lord worldwide was formally established and registered in Germany in 1994. His Holiness, the Most Reverend Dr. Rufus Okikiola Ositelu, is the incumbent primate of the Church of the Lord worldwide organization and a PhD holder in both computer science and philosophy of religion. He has written several books and has presented several papers in tertiary institutions, conferences, symposia, seminars, and academic journals. Of course, he was the best student in programming technology in 1974 at the Control Data Institute, Frankfurt, Germany. He also won the Best Student Award in System Analysis in 1976 at the Control Data Institute, Frankfurt, Germany. He is a fellow of the Nigerian Book of Records Research Institute 2018 Nigerian Books of Records, Abuja, Nigeria. He is a fellow of the Nigerian Academy of Church History and Missiology, 2019, University of Ibadan. A fellow also of the Institute of Management Consultants, IMC, Nigeria, 2020, Institute of Management Studies, Lagos. Once again, I want to welcome to Reminiscences this evening the newest member, or one of the newest members of the Septuagenarian Club, His Holiness, the Most Reverend Dr. Rufus Okikiola Ositelu. Once again, welcome to the program.
My pleasure. Thank you very
Now,
much.
let's start this way properly. What was growing up like? Talking about here in Ogtv, what's your number when you talk about the family, and of course, what kind of relationship do you have with your father and your mother? So it's good to know. What was it like then?
Those days. Well, those were good old days. I remember that I used to follow my father as long as it's within Ogere, to church, to everywhere that he went those days. And my mom was a disciplinarian, and you can run, but you cannot hide. So, like children, when we misbehave, just say, okay, you come and meet me, you wait for you, even you prepare your dinner, you eat everything, then after you finish, maybe you are about to sleep, she will wake you up. Remember in the afternoon what you did? And scold you, And today, by the grace of God, I love it so much when I remember that then I was not enjoying it, but today I say, because it has really shaped me the way I do a lot of things, and I want to thank God for our life and for my father's life too. They have made me more or less what I became today.
How many are you? And what's your number in the family?
My siblings will tell you simply, number 14. They call me number 14.
So it's a polygamous home?
Oh, yes. Some ministers of God have given diverse reasons. What I know from one of the research books from Professor Turner, when he asked some ministers of God in this church, that how come that your mentor was polygamous? They give a lot of reasons. I will tell you some of them. But what I know particularly was that when he started this mission in 1925, he was a catechist in the Anglican Church. And the Anglican supervisors, both Africans and white people, they thought that he was mad. So they sent him home, go and meet your parents, get healed. When you are okay, you come back. But they discovered that he was not mad. It was because he was doing things, he was saying, I heard the voice of God. And God showed me. And God will tell him, do it the way you have been shown in your dream. And he will start doing such things. And they say, oh, this is strange. Because that was the start of this Aladura church. This is strange to Anglican, we don't want this type of thing here. So, but because they love him so much, they don't want to lose him. Now they did whatever they could do. And one of them was, they came to his fiancé in Ogere. Fiancé that if you can help us change his mind, to let go of all these visions and dreams and hearing and all the rest of them, that we'll be grateful for it and all the rest of them. And the lady tried her best, but he continued to hear voices that don't listen to the counsel of the elders, don't listen to what your fiancé is going to tell you. Even before they came, God already told him that they are going to use his fiancé to change his mind, not to follow what God told him to do. But don't worry, she will abandon you, but I will bless you like Job. So that was the promise of God. by the time you read his biography, you will see there that he married very late. He married very, very late. I mean, his first son, this somebody was born in 1900. His first son, surviving son, was born in 1938. So he was 13. All his mates, they were fathers at the age of 25, 26, 27. In those days, they married very early, if you remember. So, but God said, don't worry, you'll go through a lot of challenges, but I'm going to bless you more than your expectation. So when they ask his successor, Professor Turner asked his successor, why is he polygamous? Is that not against him? He said, it's just the promise of God that has come to fulfillment. That's how he came about. It was never polygamous right from the beginning. He had only one girlfriend. Even betrothed, they already done the introduction according to Yoruba tradition, but the lady had to leave him because of, and he didn't look at women again. He didn't have time. He was just focused on the work of God.
What was the relationship between you and your other siblings, despite the polygamous nature of the family?
Very good. The way we were brought up is so different, because we have friends also in this Ogere. We went to school together. We also have polygamous family, but they all will confess to today that the Ositelus are different. Why? Number one, we all work together, play together, and we eat from one woman.
From the same pot.
From the same pot, and even one of the wives will take care of us.
Wow.
You don't eat from your mom or from your, whatever. We have the same pot, and one person will be responsible. Although they might be sharing it, one woman does it this week, rotate it, another week, another person takes over. So we have this brotherliness and sisterliness. We didn't have any, to me and to my other siblings, we saw all our mothers as our mothers. For example, when I was in secondary school, my mom would not be around. As you have read, she was a minister of God. She was a prophetess then, and she would have gone as an evangelist to evangelize, all over Nigeria, in Ekiti, Ondo, and other places. So she wouldn't be around. It is another woman that I will be staying with until she might not even come back until I go back to school. I'm talking about when I was on vacation and all this. So you will not miss your mom, because all the mothers are your mom. All other children are children of your mom. So that's the way life was.
At 70 and as number 14.
Yes.
How many of you are remaining now?
I think we are just about 24. Some of our senior brothers and sisters have passed away.
Okay. But you still have like 24.
Oh, sure.
Wow.
Even our eldest sister is still alive. She's 80 plus. But the first daughter, she's still alive. Those that have passed away are men. There are not so many. Just about 3 or 4 of them.
Now let's talk about education. Was it a conscious thing, encouraged by your father, or was it just by accident? Because I know that at your time, not many people will cherish education. But you started school, you did primary, you went to another school, then you finished and you did boys. What's the kind of encouragement you got from your father?
I think it is coming from his own personal experience.
Okay.
Because when he was young, his father preferred, like many other fathers then, to have their boys to go with them to the farm. His father was a farmer. But my father wanted to go to school. He was telling his father, please send me to school. I don't want to go to farm. Who are you? Come here, you'll be ordered to follow your father, and you just have to obey. So one day, they dragged it at home before the father eventually took him to farm. Immediately, he went up to get this palm wine. The old man fell from the palm tree. And we always believe that if you have been discussing something, maybe anything that happens was because of that or no. Say, I will not allow this boy to kill me. You want to go to school at the age of 12 instead of primary 1. So that's how his father now sent him to school. So he personally cherished education. He sent all of us to school, and we all went up to university level.
All right, let's look at lifestyle at, let's leave primary school, secondary school. I think that can be merged to two schools, if I'm right.
Yes.
That is the First Institute of Professional Studies.
Abeokuta in Ibadan.
Then we have Prospect High School.
In Ibadan.
You eventually finished, sat for your WASC. What was life then in school? Was it a day school or a boarding school for you?
Both of them were boarding schools.
Okay, so you were in
the school, in the environment.
In the hostel.
In the hostel, exactly.
That's an interesting lifestyle. Then, now, what was it like with your friends? You remember one or two pranks that you played? Then do you still remember some of those who went to secondary school together that are still around now, that you still have contact with?
Yes. Like I've already said, the first at Abeokuta was a professional school, and we studied accounting, then history, economics, and government. And it was not my thing. I love science, so that's why I changed school to Prospect High School. It's no commercial, it's only science subjects and all the rest of them. So, and I finished by the grace of God.
That does not mean that the son of a Baladuda will not play some pranks. It's not.
Oh, sure, we did. Even when I remember how reckless young people can be, I continue to thank God that really we could have killed ourselves, because in the hostel our beds were iron beds, this double decker, and on top of it we'll be playing, dragging, fighting, and all. This fighting is part of play. I just imagine if somebody would just fall, knock his head at the corner of that bed, it's finished. But it never happened. To God be the glory. I remember all sorts of stupid play that we did those days. But to God be the glory, none of us ever got wounded or injured and all the rest.
Was it boys and girls?
No, it's boys and girls.
So what was the relationship between Ben in school with the girls?
With the girls, individuals are different. I was very shy.
Okay.
But though I never approached any girl to be my girlfriend, even some of my classmates have girlfriends and all the rest of them, but I still got girlfriend. How? Some boys or some juniors, girls and boys, will approach me and ask me to be their school father. Okay. So when they approach somebody else as school mother, our friends, when they get to know, they say, the school father and school, they just join us automatic together. Because I remember, if I'm walking from the hostel to the school, if I see girls coming, I will take another route. I don't want to meet any girl, I take until I traveled. Very interesting. I don't know how many people who knows this. My wife knows anyway. I traveled, I left Nigeria in 1974. Until I left Nigeria, I didn't have a girlfriend. I never knew women. No carnal knowledge of any woman. It was in Europe for the first time that I had carnal knowledge of a woman. And at least I was 24. No girlfriend, no sex, no nothing.
Okay, before I leave your secondary school, I also asked if you still have some few that were your classmates.
Yes.
And that you still communicate up to this moment.
That's a very interesting question. I have my classmates. I have even one of them, my best friend. I visited him in California, in the US. But why is it very interesting? Just 2 weeks ago, I told him, let's build a WhatsApp group of our set. Okay. Which they did just recently. Okay. We are talking on phone because he is based in the US, and some of my classmates are also based in US in different states. Some in Chicago, some in Minnesota, others and Florida and so. But we have just done that just 2 weeks ago. And now we are communicating. Though we've been communicating before, just once in a while on phone. But with this WhatsApp group, the communication is much better.
Let me take you back to what you said about your father, that he sent all his children to school up to university level. How did he do that? How did he achieve that? You just said you are about 20-something.
Yes. Okay, very simple. By the time he died, very few had finished university education. Most of us, like me, number 14, I was still in the secondary school.
Okay.
So it is actually our mothers that first the family continued from the family pause. But then when there was nothing left, so our mothers continued the something. And we're on our own too. Like me, when I finished, I worked with
father has laid the foundation.
Oh, sure, that's what matters.
To follow.
Even
after his death.
Yes, and you know, we have healthy competition. Nobody wants to be left behind. That's very, very, germane. Nobody wants to be left behind, so we will struggle. And anyhow, your parents, they will try and you get help from here, left and right. But the most important thing I remember is up to the last son, we all went to tertiary.
Why did you go to work for a study in Nigeria Bottling Company before eventually
I traveled out?
Yeah, traveling out and of course furthering your education. Then I also want to know what the experience was like between 1971 and 1974 that you worked in the Nigerian Bottling Company. First, why did you go straight to work and you did not think, okay, now after secondary school, let me just pursue higher institution straight? Why? Was it the custom then? Was it?
No, it wasn't the custom. If my father were alive,
you would have gone to
I wouldn't have gone to work.
Okay.
So, so I need to help myself, like all other siblings also help themselves. So I need to go and work, get some money, and God, I think it's just the way God wanted it to be because I was so lucky. When I got the job with Nigeria Bottling Company, Coca-Cola, popularly known as Coca-Cola, it was at their headquarters in Apapa, Malu Road. The job was so simple. As a storekeeper, I'd be asking myself, when I just started there, is this why I went to secondary school? Geometry, algebra. The job I'm doing there is just simple arithmetic. As the storekeeper, I would take hold of the production, just count it, okay, 4,000 bottles or crates of Coca-Cola, 2,000 crates of Fanta. So to me, it's too simple. I believe if a primary school that is a little bit matured, it can handle that job. But I've been paid like a school site leaver because my salary was more than those who are working with government. Government was paying that time £14 a month, and we were earning in Coca-Cola, or I was earning £18 per month, £4 more than civil servants. And the best part of it, before I traveled, I did not touch my salary. I did not spend £1 from my salary.
You were just saving it?
I was just saving it. Because
for the raining day?
I had intention to travel abroad. So it's for if you work for the raining day, is to take me abroad and all the rest of them, start studying. And so that's what I was saving my money for. I used to get money. All these salesmen will load their vehicles for them from the stores. Every time they come back from the field, they give me tips. And the tips was so much, it's more than what I need to live on.
Okay.
I don't need money for transport. The work I was doing, some people were complaining. I wasn't complaining because I was a young man. I was energetic. I was doing 16 hours a day. So to do 16 hours a day, the company will come and pick me at home. When I finish work, there's no vehicle available. They will take me also with the company's driver. They will take me home. So even the driver has to take the car to his house to come and pick me very early in the morning again.
Of course, we all know that education definitely prompted you to travel abroad.
Yes.
Why Germany?
Yes. Being, number one, a Christian, and particularly a white garment from the Church of the Lord. When I wanted to further my education, I just prayed to God. I said, God, these are the three professions that I'm interested in: medical science, agricultural science, and computer science. So, I'm going to apply to the three of them: medical science in the US, agricultural science in England, UK, and computer science in Germany. God, you know the beginning and the end. Whichever is going to benefit me most, please let me get admission for that one first. And God gave me the admission for computer science in Germany. That's actually, it was a simple decision. I asked God, and God answered my prayer, and I follow up through.
First of all, you must learn German, yeah?
Yes.
German.
I didn't need to.
Okay.
I learned German after I finished my studies.
Wow.
Yeah, because the institution have two classes. They have one English class and German class, because we have Italians, Americans in my class, people from other parts of Europe and America. So they couldn't also start German class. So the German class were more or less for Germans. But when I finish, now that's where it is interesting. How do I start to work? If you don't, I could speak, what do you call it, broken German, but it's not enough.
Passable German.
It's not enough at your workplace.
Okay.
So it was after I finished my studies and now went to language school. They call it, the name of the institution is called In Lingua Institute.
Okay.
In Lingua Institute. So now, but because I'm in Germany, I could learn fast. So that's how I learned the language. Even after I learned the language, I now went to another university in Darmstadt. And the reason for that was to know the German expression. Going to language school is just to be able to speak and read. Mm-hmm. But what I've already done in English, I don't know the German expression of them. So I had to go to University of Darmstadt for 1 year course, masters, to learn just purposely, because I already had masters in English, but just to know the German expression of the things that I already know.
German expression, how? Are we talking about body languages?
No, not body languages. For example, if you do business administration or economics, there's something called stock units. I know in English, but in German, they don't call it stock units. So if they use the German word for it, Stückheiten, I don't know what they are talking about. Because these are not ordinary day language. It's not the language you use day by day on the street to greet people and all the rest of them. So these are different languages. These are technical languages. So the purpose is not body language, to know the technical language, the technical words that I already know in English, which I didn't know in German.
Can I say you actually commenced your Christian leadership role, especially as far as the Aladura Church is concerned in Germany? I mean, when you started your pastoral studies course at that university.
Yes.
What prompted that? Were you thinking about, when I get home, it doesn't matter what I study, even at master's level, PhD level, I'm still coming to head this church?
No thought about that.
Okay.
What prompted me was, I was already working in the 80s, and the church that I attend, the Germans created something like a universal church for foreigners. So all of us, Anglican, Methodist, Aladura, name it, even Muslims, they join us every Sunday. We worship together. And throughout that period, any pastor they brought for us, the pastors, they were giving them 3 years contract. Normally they bring them from their partner churches in Africa.
because we are Africans. So, either from Ghana or Tanzania. But anyone that came always identify me, I don't know the reason, as their assistant. So when they even go on vacation, I'm the one that is holding forth the church, this universal church, created for Africans. That's how, even the German interpretation, that's what it is called, Okage, Okumenische Afrikanische Gemeinde. Universal Church created for Africans. So, somehow, I'm so interested in the things of the Lord.
Okay.
So, by the time I started, I just wanted to know more. To know more about Christ, know more about the scriptures, until 1993, when we now started Church of the Lord, and I was the one pastoring that branch. So to congregate, there is more reason to know more about theology.
Okay. That's not what motivated you to actually go into that project, and how confident were you that it will succeed? It wasn't one of the known churches, you agree with me?
Yes.
But you pioneered it, you established it, and it stood. What was the experience like?
The experience has been so great. I can tell you, it's so difficult to believe. Today, in Germany, the German church, EKD, they reckon with my church than any other Nigerian church. That put apart. Fact remains, I was the father of all Pentecostals, all Sele, all Kerubu, all Aladura in Germany. So if the German church needs participation of called African churches, African Gemeinde, it's me they will contact. It is by the grace of God, but it's because of the commitment they are seeing in me that I'm committed to the things of God.
And at the same time, you were working as a computer scientist.
Yes, so it's just part-time. I was just a part-time pastor, if you want to call it, if you want, pastor. My job, my real job is computer science.
And when did the interest in writing came in?
I think that one is automatic in the sense that at least that's what we do in Germany. When you do your doctorate, normally we have a lot of publishing houses that we even request you to bring your thesis to them, your dissertation. They want to publish it. So that now motivated me. Okay, it's not exact dissertation, just because by the time they're asking me, maybe already 2 years back, I do some research, added some information, and it came out.
What do you write about?
My first 2 books, the first one was about computer science.
Okay.
I call it Data Processing Made Simple. So, because my dissertation was about resystematization life cycle. And what that means looks like a long word. What it means is that any company that is doing business and still using, you have different departments, everything is file. We can come in and computerize every department so that you don't need to be carrying files, physical files. There will still be file, but it's going to be computer file. And it will aid your business will get better, and all the rest of them. That is what my thesis was about.
Let's know more. Let's talk about your marital life.
Yes.
So, where did you meet Madame? How did you meet Madame? And of course, how has it been?
It has been so great.
You are jumping, no?
I'm not
Doctor. When did you meet Madame?
How did you? I was going to come to that. Okay. To be candid.
Okay.
I met her in Nigeria. But before then, I got prophecy from some people from 3 different individuals. Yeah, okay. It's not a bad thing. I just told God, please, God, you yourself show me that person. like any human being, I was tempted. I was afraid of Nigerians.
Okay.
Yes, I was, to be candid, I was
then.
I was afraid of Nigerians. I was tempted to marry somebody from Ghana. Then the second temptation came, marry somebody from Liberia. But God says, that's, you asked me to show you, and I've not shown you anybody. I want to help God, which is wrong.
You want to jump the God?
Don't mind me. Don't mind me. So a beautiful girl, can this be the person? But God never told me anything. So naturally, because God did not tell me, so those ones did not materialize. Until one day in Nigeria, we went for a program at what did they call it? Former Ogun State University. They call it something now.
Okay, that is Nigeria University.
Went for a program there. So the choir singing and all the rest of them, God just told me that is the way. But I was seeing two people standing by it, and they look a little bit alike. I was just talking to God. I don't know if people can observe me or any, I don't really know, because I didn't really care, to be candid. I was like, hey, I just like as if I'm seeing God. I was talking to them, hey, which one of them? They are saying that's the woman, but there are two now. I said, that one. Don't you see that one is taller and the other one is a little bit shorter? So that one, not the taller one, the other one. That's how everything started. I requested for her, she came, I spoke with her, I said, okay, good, wait. I don't want to make any mistake, I don't want to commit any crime. I just said, are you betrothed or are you married? She said, no. Okay, who are your parents? Gave me the information. And I approached the parents. Said, please sir, please ma, I'm interested in your daughter. Have you given her to somebody else so that I can just, I will just go back to God and say, you said she's the one, but the parents said, no. She's not available. When God speaks,
yes,
it must.
Everything fits in.
Everything fits in. The parents just told me, no, she's single. At least as far as they know, they have not given their daughter to anybody. And nobody has ever come to them to ask for her hand. And that's how the journey started. Everything's very fast.
And the seeds God has given you, how are they?
Doing fine. They are all in Europe.
Okay.
By the grace of God. But we started here because I was telling somebody, one of the problems we have in this country is that our leaders, they just want to do things, provide amenities that are not of standard, because they know they will not make use of it, their children will not make use of it. But when I started the primary school here in Ogere and the secondary school here in Ogere, my children went to that primary school. Even though I had offer from Ikoyi, free, to bring my children there, boarding house, everything free. In Ikoyi, I said no. The school that we have created for other people in the Church of the Lord and the environment is the same school my children will attend.
Okay, let's talk about your leadership of the Church of the Lord. Of course, you are a spiritual father of the flock, symbol of faith, and head of the spiritual community. How do you, this description, how come you think it suits you going back to what you do here at the spiritual head?
And number one, this church is a constitutional church. We have a constitution that directs what we do, because we are not living in a vacuum. We are part of Nigeria. Nigeria also has a constitution, and if you want to have an association, organization, a church, you have to register it with CAC in Abuja. That's a part. So the constitution already defines my role. Everything that I'm doing, the only difference is I bring in my own character into the leadership, traits, and expectation of the people. And by the grace of God, it's not because I'm wise. The people love my leadership style. because they can see tremendous progress within a very short time. And to God alone be the glory. Even some people say, the primate, even steal your money. He has money more than the church. He has a business in Germany. All these things are not true. I mean, initially, I may have money than the church. Even now, I may have money than the church. But it's not that I'm spending my money. I'm just, if I spend money for the church, it's just like you, like any other person. Offering, I give my offering, I pay my tithe, and all the rest of them. But it's not that I'm going to Germany, bring my money to build anything for the church. It's only the people see that when I ask them for donations, we say donations for a project. Within a short time, they see the project standing. And that's, you will not believe, even for an insider, it's so difficult to believe that a church that could not do anything before, except individuals. We have individuals who say, okay, big project like this house, one person built it. But in my own administration, there's no edifice, even bigger than this, that one person built. We all collectively, donated money towards it. And
how much of your computer science wizardry has also helped in administering the church?
It has helped so much. Before, there was no computer in the primary service. But now, every department has a computer. That's one.
And the records are computerized?
Yes. And most importantly, but anyway, that is something new. This social media and computer, they are really helping the administration overseas. Before, in the olden days, I remember, if the administrator, the spiritual head in Ghana or Liberia or Sierra Leone, writes the primary office, it will take about 3 months for the letter to get here. Because the letter will first go to UK, to England, before the letter comes to Nigeria. But today, I just sent a WhatsApp message or any other email to my staff in Liberia or Sierra Leone. Within the next 10 minutes, I've gotten the response. So it has really helped a lot. I cannot really thank God.
Not only your church members, but generally people look forward to the annual Tabora program. What is the significance?
Tabora first is a covenant place. It's not an idea of a man, let's create a camp that people can, prayer camp, people can go to. God himself just told my father in 1937,
okay,
go to a particular place. Go there, fast and pray. On the 30th day, the congregation will come and join you. And you will bless them. While you are there, before he went there, he has not even given him the name of the place. He said, while you are there, I will give you the name what that place will be called. It's a place of mercy and favor. A covenant place of mercy and favor. When you call, you make a covenant with God, and God will fulfill his own side, and he will come back the following year to fulfill your vow. That has always been. So, when I tell people, there is nowhere in the world, because I've read a lot, where you see hundreds of thousands coming to give testimony. Because if somebody comes to fulfill his vow, it's a testimony in itself. It means God has done it for you. That's why you are now saying, oh, God, because the vow is most cases just like this. God, if you are asking for this, and that, and if you give it to me, next year I will come back here and do this or give this or give that. So it's a covenant place, and God has been very faithful till today, and to God be the glory.
Okay, so every August 22nd is a covenant day with the Lord.
Yes.
As far as members of this church.
And non-members.
And non-members, yes. I said
yes. Even, I will even go beyond non-members. Christians of diverse denominations, Muslims come to Tabora, Babalawo come to Abeokuta. That will surprise.
Can I now say you have a kind of cordial relationship with the people, members of other churches and peoples of other religions, including traditional religion?
Sure, because I am and I was a member of the NIREC, Nigeria.
Yeah.
You know the NIREC, Interreligious Council. Interreligious Council. And there normally we meet with our Muslim counterparts. For example, my friend of Sokoto, His Eminence, Sultan of Sokoto, is my good friend. But that's where we first met at the NIREC. Okay. So since then we have been friends. He has been calling me, I've been calling him, and all this stuff. So, as a religious leader, we are interested in peace among all religions, even with traditional African religion. We want peace to reign in the land. We don't want religious war. We don't want religious rancor. So we want everybody to be at peace and do your thing. Do your thing, what you know how to do. But we should not allow our adherents, our followers, to start fighting and killing themselves because of religious.
When you left your lucrative job in Germany to faithfully the theology thing that you're doing with the church, people thought you were crazy. Let us into that experience.
That's very, very interesting.
I was already not close to like 2 million.
Yes, a little bit above 2 million there. 2 million naira per month, yes. When converted to naira, I know that for a fact. So what happened was, anyway, you see how God works. I've been coming home sometimes for Tabora, but not every year, from Germany. And I had the last time I came before 1998, I had a very rough experience because it was already in August. It was vacation time, holiday time in Europe. It was so difficult to get seat on any airline. So I had to travel from Frankfurt within Germany to Düsseldorf, from Düsseldorf to London, from London to Accra, from Accra to Lagos, just to come for Tabora. I said, oh, okay, it's good. That will not happen to me again. So 1998, actually in 1997, I've decided that I'm going for Tabora of 1998. So by February of 1998, I've already secured my ticket. So by the time I was being called upon in August that I should come, I must come to Nigeria, that they will pay my flight, they will do this and that, I just said, I'm coming already. I already had my ticket. So you see how God works. Because if I didn't have the ticket, by the time they are calling me, there's no way I can get any ticket, any seat on any airline coming to Nigeria. It should have been too late. But because God, in His divine knowledge, has planned everything. So I came, the proclamation took place. Before I went back to Germany, church members already had that I've been proclaimed as new primate. Because I never knew, never crossed my mind. I didn't come for that. I just want to come to Tabora and celebrate Tabora and go back. So I think I only came for 2 weeks.
When was that?
1990.
When were you proclaimed the new primate?
On the Tabora ground, August 1998.
1998. Okay.
Yes. So when I got back, after the service, two of my members came to me and said, oh, doctor, that's what they call me. Doctor, we two of us bet that you will not take the appointment. You will tell them to go away with their primateship. But the other one said, I said, it doesn't mean anything. When God calls you, you cannot refuse. Because that one is coming from his mom is a CNS prophetess. So he has a little bit of understanding for spiritual things. He said, okay, what is your verdict? What's your decision? I said, oh, sure, I'm going. I said, oh, give me my money, I've won. They bet among themselves. That's very interesting. That's one side. But I still have to go back and resign my appointment.
Okay.
When I put in the letter of resignation, my boss then called for me. Said, why? Have they offered you anything better than here?
Yeah.
I said, not really. He said, any amount they offer you, it will pay the double. I said, it won't help. He said, what do you mean? I said, I will give you double salary. Not your double salary now. Whatever they offer you that is more than what you are earning now, I will pay you double. I said, what they offered me is your seat. He laughed. I said, Rufus, if that is the case, I'm sorry, I cannot leave my seat for you. I said, that's why I'm not asking. I'm not asking you to leave your seat for me, sir. Just, please, just allow me to go.
What's the kind of relationship between you, the church, and the people of Okikiola here?
Well, very cordial, very nice. The church is fantastic. The people of Ogere, very good, because in Ogere, they can't do, Ogere cannot do anything without Ositelu. That's why that community school, college, Ositelu Memorial College, belongs to the community. They just named it after Papa Ositelu. It's the Church of the Lord Electoral College that belongs to us. But Ositelu Memorial College they just wanted to, it's the only thing they have, and they wanted to name it after illustrious son of Ogere. And they look for every other person. They said Ositelu is the person.
Your motto remains transparency, accountability, and godliness.
Yes.
When you look at this and look at what Nigeria is today, it's like the opposite of what Nigeria is.
Exactly.
How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel bad. Even though...
Are we transparent in Nigeria? No.
At all. Are we accountable?
Are we accountable?
No. Are we godly?
Are we godly?
That's why I tell people, by the grace of God, I have solution to every problem that Nigeria is facing. And I'm not kidding. Even beyond Nigeria, I have solution to some world problems, even world international problems. The problem is, though I have political experience in Germany, because I was the president of the elected foreigners parliament, but notwithstanding, that's why I said earlier that what Nigeria needs is an intelligent person, a well-exposed person, a person that is godly, that has the fear, that is God-fearing, that has the fear of God himself, with track records. That is the type of person that can actually take Nigeria out of the mess we find ourselves right now.
You elders say, all work without play make Jack a dull boy. Not only Jack, we also make Okikiola be a dull man.
Yeah.
How do you relax? Any hobbies, and what are your hobbies?
I have hobbies. My hobbies mainly are reading, research, and writing. But people feel, that's work, that's not hobby. I said, really, in the recent is my hobby. The first holiday I went in Kenya, 2 weeks. It was the time I wrote my first book about computer science. It was in Kenya at that holiday. I mean, I didn't finish it there, but that's what I laid the grounds for everything, the chapter, named them, but then later I was filling it up and all the rest of them. Yeah. So that's how I relax. Read, do research, and write.
At 70, what should people expect from the primate now? Where are you going to be pumping up the volumes?
Yes. To be candid, I thank God for what we have done. But I still have great visions for the church. And I'm asking God to continue to give me the grace to fulfill all these visions which He has given to me. So I still have a lot of work ahead. But most importantly, my staff. Because initially I was working like Jakar. Although it's part of me and part of us from Germany, Germans, if you are from Germany, they call it sack. You work hard work tirelessly. So, but my staff is so graciously where I want them to be, and they are doing their best, and God is blessing them, and God is increasing them in all ramifications. So, with their own situation, with their knowledge, and with my vision, it's going to be so easy to achieve all necessary things we have laid for ourselves.
Lastly, sir, 2023 is almost here, you said it.
Yeah.
Most of these politicians will also come here for blessing. How are you going to handle them?
We don't have any problem because we have been doing it in the past. As a church, we don't have a candidate. We don't have any political party. They came to us in the past, ACN, PDP, name them, they will come, we'll pray for them, and they will go. The other, one will come this week, another party, governorship candidate will come from another party next week. We will pray. That's our job, is to pray for all people, and not to discriminate.
Let God make the right choices.
Oh, sure. Let God and the people make the right choices. So that's what we have been doing.
It's been a pleasure talking to you all this while. For the past 50-something minutes or thereabout, we've been talking on reminiscences to His Holiness, the Most Reverend Dr. Rufus Okikiola Ositelu, who is the Patriarch and of course and Primate of the Church of the Lord worldwide. Once again, I want to thank you. I want to wish you happy birthday. Once again, I want to pray that God will continue to be with you. Amen. So that some of us that are behind you will continue to drink from your pot of wisdom. Amen. Once again, I want to thank you very much for being our guest.
My pleasure.
Until we come your way again with another interesting guest, I remain yours sincerely, Hakeem Akitunde. Thanks for watching.
We thank thee for the sunshine and the air.